Welcome to the Madison Miller Podcast. Today is the 6th of October, Monday, 2025. We have a lot to do. Major League Baseball playoffs, NFL, college football, WNBA finals, soccer, golf, NASCAR, Survivor. From the first 2 weeks, we really haven't talked about Survivor, like the TV show, not football Survivor. News and notes and best bet. Okay, we will begin with the baseball playoffs. We'll go over the weekend's results and look ahead to the two games tonight. Saturday, NLDS Game 1, Brewers over the Cubs 9-3 to take a 1-0 series lead. ALDS Game 1, Blue Jays over the Yankees 10-1 to take a 1-0 series lead. NLDS Game 1, Dodgers over the Phillies 5-3. ALDS Game 1, Tigers over the Mariners 3-2 in 11 innings. And then yesterday, ALDS Game 2, Toronto makes the Yankees again 13-7 to go up 2-0. And then ALDS Game 2, Mariners bounce back and beat Tigers 3-2. Two NLDS games today, 6 o'clock on TBS, Dodgers, Phillies under immense pressure to win this game at home. They're in trouble. Blake Snell, Jesus Luzardo. I don't know who's favored in this game. Probably LA, but Philly's home. Red October. Dodgers minus 122. Phil's plus 104. Over under 7.5. Overs minus 118. Unders minus 104. Dodgers minus 1.5 plus 134. Phil's plus 1.5 minus 162. I'm gonna take the Phillies at home. Desperation spot plus 104. They gotta win this game. And at 9 o'clock on TBS, Cubs Brewers. Shota Imanaga and Aaron Ashby. Brewers minus 132, Cubs plus 112, over under 7.5, overs minus 115, unders minus 105. Cubs plus 1.5 is minus 194, Brewers minus 1.5 plus 160. I like the over. Ashby, we never seen him in the playoffs before. I think the Cubs offense bounces back a little bit. I don't know if they win, but I do like the over 7.5 in this spot. Okay, now we move on to football. We will go over the results from yesterday and look ahead to tonight's game. From London, Vikings over the Browns 21-17, Texans over the Ravens 44-10, Saints over the Giants 26-14, Broncos over the Eagles 21-17, Cowboys over the Jets 37-22, Colts over the Raiders 40-6, Panthers over the Dolphins 27-24, Bucks over the Seahawks 38-35, Titans over the Cardinals 22-21 as many people, including myself, got knocked out of survivor pools. Commanders over the Chargers 27-10. That was my favorite bet all week, the under in that game. That came through. Lions over the Bengals 37-24. And the Patriots upset the Bills 23-20. I'm sure that knocked a lot of people out of survivor pools as well. And tonight, 8:15 on ABC and ESPN, Chiefs-Jaguars, great game. My line, I have the Jacksonville Jaguars installed as a 4-point favorite. Total 42 and 13/20, and the Chiefs are giving 3.5. Total 45.5. I absolutely adore the Jaguars in this spot. This is the final pick of the Fab Five. I almost went Jags for money line as well, but I wanted to do something different. I probably should have went all in on the Jags on the money line, but I'm doing it. I'm taking the plus 3.5. It was 3, went up to 3.5. That's why I waited to pull the trigger on the line. Now money's coming in the Jags, but I'm taking them getting 3 in a hook at home against the Chiefs. Even if they lose by 3, I win the bet. That's why I was waiting to pull the trigger, and I went with the Browns on the money line instead. Only because I just wanted to do something different. Although I might come to regret it, not going all in there. All right, now move on to college football. We will go over the weekend's results. There are some interesting ones, obviously. We have Wednesday games this week. That's interesting. All right, Friday night, Western Kentucky over Delaware 27-24, South Florida over Charlotte 54-26, San Jose State over New Mexico 35-28, number 23 BYU over West Virginia 38-24, San Diego State over Colorado State 45-24. All right, Saturday, number 1 Ohio State over Minnesota 42-3, number 3 Miami over number 18 Florida State 28-22, number 5 Oklahoma over Kent State 44-0, number 6 Texas A&M over Mississippi State 31-9. UCLA upsets Penn State 42-37. That is a disgusting loss by James Franklin and the Nittany Lions. They're finished. My fucking God. And talk about more overrated teams. Florida upsets number 9 Texas and Arch Manning 29-21. Put a fork in them too. Right? Those two teams do not deserve to make the playoffs, and neither of them are ranked. Thank God. I don't want to see ranked number next to their names. But talk about a team that's turned their season around after a bad upset loss. Number 10 Alabama over number 16 Vanderbilt 30-14. Number 11 Texas Tech over Houston 35-11. Number 12 Georgia over Kentucky 35-14. Cincinnati beats number 14 Iowa State 38-30. Number 20 Michigan over Wisconsin 24-10. Number 21 Notre Dame over Boise State 28-7. Number 22 Illinois over Purdue 43-27. Number 24 Virginia over Louisville 30-27 in overtime. Pitt over BC 48-7. Clemson over UNC 38-10. Baylor over Kansas State 35-34. Navy over Air Force 34-31. Army over UAB 31-13. Ball State over Ohio 20-14. Wake over Virginia Tech 30-23. Temple upsets UTSA 27-21. NC State over Campbell 56-10. Western Michigan over UMass 21-3. Arizona over Oklahoma State 41-13. Washington over Maryland 24-20. Northwestern over UL Monroe 42-7. App State over Oregon State 27-23. SMU over Syracuse 31-18. UConn over FIU 51-10. James Madison over Georgia State 14-7. Akron over Central Michigan 28-22. Buffalo over Eastern Michigan 31-30 in overtime. Miami of Ohio over Northern Illinois 25-14. Nebraska over Michigan State 38-27. Arkansas State over Texas State 31-30. Old Dominion over Coastal Carolina 47-7. UNLV over Wyoming 31-17. Troy over South Alabama 31-24 in overtime. FAU over Rice 27-21. TCU over Colorado 35-21. So they barely cover it. Kansas over UCF 27-20. Memphis over Tulsa 45-7. Duke over Cal 45-21. And Fresno State over Nevada 20-17. All right. Now move on to the WNBA finals. We had game 1 and game 2 over the weekend. Don't forget the WNBA finals is now a best of 7, which is awesome for the sport. Friday, Aces over to Mercury, 89-86. Close one as Vegas wins game 1. Game 2, Aces over to Mercury, 91-78 to go up 2-0. So the Aces are up 2-0 in the series like yours truly predicted. Game 3, Wednesday. Game 4, Friday. And if necessary, which sure as hell hope so, Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. So October 17th, in theory, would be a Game 7 if it were to go that far. So now we'll go to notable soccer from the weekend. We'll go over some results and look ahead to today. We really didn't give out picks for soccer on the Friday show because we really didn't have time. We'll begin with Friday. Premier League. AFC Bournemouth over Fulham 3-1. Osasuna over Getafe 2-1 in La Liga. Bundesliga. FC Cologne over TSG Hoffenheim 1-0. Women's League. Houston Orlando 1-1 draw. Liga MX. Pachuca over Necaxa 1-0. Mazatlan FC over Atletico 2-1. Atlas over FC Juarez 3-1. Serie A. Sassuolo over Verona 1-0. League 1. Paris FC over Lorient 2-0. ELC. Wrexham Birmingham City 1-1 draw. Dutch Eredivisie FC Groningen over NAC Breda 2-1. Super League. Man United Chelsea 1-1 draw. League 1. Spokane over Charlotte 1-0. South Georgia over Westchester 3-1. Saturday. Premier League. Tottenham over Leeds 2-1. Arsenal over West Ham 2-0. Man United over Sunderland 2-0. Chelsea over Liverpool 2-1. La Liga. Levante over Real Oviedo 2-0. Girona over Valencia 2-1. Athletic over Mallorca 2-1. Real Madrid over Villarreal 3-1. German Bundesliga, Leverkusen over Union Berlin 2-0. Dortmund RP Leipzig 1-1 draw. Augsburg over VfL Wolfsburg 3-1. Werder over St. Pauli 1-0. Bayern over Frankfurt 3-0. MLS. Montreal Nashville 1-1 draw. Charlotte over DC 1-0. Dallas over Galaxy 2-1. Miami over New England 4-1. Cincinnati over the Red Bulls 1-0. Columbus Orlando 1-1 draw. Philly over NYCFC 1-0. St. Louis over Austin 3-1. Chicago Toronto 2-2 draw. San Diego over Houston 4-2. Minnesota over Sporting KC 3-0. Salt Lake over Colorado 1-0. Seattle over Portland 1-0. Women's League. Louisville over North Carolina 3-1. And Portland over Bay FC 2-1. Liga MX. Querétaro over Puebla 3-1. Toluca over Leon 4-2. Tigres Cruz Azul 1-1 draw. America over Santos 3-0. Serie A. Lazio Torino 3-3 draw. Lecce over Parima 1-0. Inter over Cremonese 4-1. And Atalanta Como 1-1 draw. League 1. Marseille over Metz 3-0. Brest Nantes 0-0 draw. Lens over Ajax 2-1. ELC. Blackburn Stoke City 1-1 draw. Hull over Sheffield 1-0. Coventry over Sheffield Wednesday 5-0. Queen Park over Bristol City 2-1. Derby County Southampton 1-1 draw. Millwall over West Brom 3-0. Portsmouth over Borough 1-0. Preston over Charlton 2-0. Leicester over Swansea 3-1. And Watford over Oxford 2-1. Dutch Eredivisie. Sparta Ajax 3-3 draw. Fortuna over FC Volendam 1-0. PSV over PC Zwolle 4-0. And Heerenveen over Excelsior 2-1. Premiership. Dundee Livingston 1-1 draw. Kilmarnock over St. Mirren 2-0. Hearts over Hibernian 1-0. And then Sunday. Premier League. Aston Villa over Burnley 2-1. Everton over Crystal Palace 2-1. Newcastle over Nottingham 2-0. Wolverhampton Brighton and Hove 1-1 draw. Man City over Brentford 1-0. La Liga. Alaves over Elche 3-1. Sevilla over Barcelona 4-1. Real Betis over Espanyol 2-1. Real Vaslana over Real Sociedad 1-0. And Celta Vigo Atletico 1-1 draw. Bundesliga. VfB Stuttgart over Heidenheim 1-0. Hamburg over Mainz 4-0. Freiburg Mönchengladbach 0-0 draw. MLS Vancouver San Jose 4-1. LAFC over Atlanta 1-0. Women's League Washington over San Diego 2-1. Chicago Utah 2-2 draw. Gotham Seattle 0-0 draw. Liga MX Guadalajara over Yunnan 1-0 or 2-1. My bad. And Tijuana Monterrey 2-2 draw. Serie A Udinese Cagliari 1-1 draw. Bologna over Pisa 4-0. AS Roma over Frontino 2-1. Napoli over Genoa 2-1. Juventus AC Milan 0-0 draw. League 1. Toulouse over Lyon 2-1. Monaco Nice 2-2 draw. Le Havre AC Stade 2-2 draw. Strasbourg over Angers 5-0. Lille PSG 1-1 draw. ELC Ipswich over Norwich City 3-1. Dutch Eredivisie FC 20 over Heracles 2-1. Feyenoord over FC Utrecht 3-2. AS Alkmaar over Telstar 2-1. Go Ahead Eagles NEC 1-1 draw. Premiership Aberdeen over Dundee 4-0. Celtic over Motherwell 3-2. Falkirk Rangers 1-1 draw. Okay, not a lot of soccer today, which surprises me. Nothing of significance, except for women's tonight. Angel City, Kansas City, at 10:30 on CBS Sports Network. That's the lone soccer game today, which is surprising. You would have thought every other league would have been playing. But I know we have Euro qualifiers this week, so that's a big reason why for that. I just hope there's odds up for this game. Yes, KC minus 165, Angel City plus 420, draw plus 290. KC's the better team. They deserve to be favorites. I'm going to go over 2.5 goals at minus 114. So tomorrow, we have women's league, USL, EFL trophy, and then under 20s, and then a USL, like I said. So not a lot tomorrow either in soccer. Okay, next up we'll do golf. This is a fast show so far. We'll go over the results from the Sanderson Farms Championship. Your winner with a score of 24 under, Stephen Fisk. Second place, 22 under, Grayson Higo. Tied for third, 19 under, Vincent Whaley, Danny Walker, and Rasmus Hojard. Tied for sixth with 17 under, Taylor Montgomery, Christian Ziedenhout, and Frankie Capon. Tied for 11th with 15 under, Victor Perez, Tom Kim, and Kevin Yu. Tied for 14th with 14 under, Mac Meisner, Pearson Cootie, Matthias Schmid, Thubjoran Olison, Matthias Schmid. Tied for 18th with 13 under, Kevin Rory, Max Homa, Matt Kuchar. Tied for 21st with 12 under, Matthew Neesmith, Adam Shank, Grayson Sieg, Bryce Garnett, Kevin Ventura, David Thompson, Takumi Kanaya, and Noah Goodwin. Tied for 29th with 11 under, Sam Ryder, Luke Liz, Zach Johnson, Michael Thubjorson, Trey Molinax, Luke Clanton, Thomas Rosenmuller, Byung-Anon, JT Potson. Tied for 38th with 10 under, Paul Fishburne, Mark Hubbard, Lucas Hodges, Carson Young, Kevin Meeks, and Gordon Sargent. I meant to say Kai Meeks. Tied for 44th with 9 under, Stefan Yeager, Chandler Phillips, Nicholas Dunlap, and David Ford. Tied for 48th with 8 under, Kevin Strowman, Davis Lipsky, Thurston Lawrence, Seamus Power, Rio Hisatune, Jesper Svensson, and Jeremy Paul. Tied for 55th with 7 under, Doug Gim, Harry Higgs, Hayden Buckley, Vince Cavello, and Will Chandler. Tied for 60th with 6 under, Sean Kim and Tim Whiting. Tied for 62nd with 5 under, Quade Kimmins and Rafael Campos. Tied for 64th with 4 under, Braden Thornberry and Norman Zong. 66th with 3 under, Evan Van Rooyen. 67th with 1 over, Anders Albertson. Notables cut, Max McGreevy, Francesco Molinari, Taylor Moore, Keith Mitchell, Brent Snecker, Chad Ramey, Davis Riley, Jacob Bridgman, Matt Wallace, who was my pick, that was flop. Mackenzie Hughes, Joel Dahman, Harry Springer, Kat Kazir, Sammy Valimaki, Scott Piercy, Cam Champ, Lucas Griffin, Aaron Weiss, Will Gordon, Jason Duffner, Henrik Norlander, Bayo Hostler, Justin Lauer, Emiliano Grillo, Harrison Endicott, Ben Coles, Adam Hadwin, Ashke Bahia, Ryan Amore, Scott Stevens, Taylor Hogue, Alex Smalley, and next up is the Bay Current Classic, which is this weekend coming up from Yokohama Country Club, which is in Japan. So we have an overseas PGA event coming up. Okay, now move on to NASCAR. We will go over the results from the weekend. This is a light day of sports. It really is. All right, so we'll start with Truck Series. Your winner was Corey Heim. Second, Brent Cruz. Third, Gio Ruggiero. Fourth, Raja Cruz. Fifth, Connor Zilch. Sixth, Josh Blakey. Seventh, Grant Effinger. Eighth, Ty Majeski. Ninth, Tanner Ankrum. 10th, Connor Mozart. The rest, Daniel Hemrick, Bailey Curry, Dawson Sutton, Caden Honeycutt, Will Rogers, Tim Hill, Matt Mills, Corey LaJoy, Chandler Smith, Spencer Boyd, Lane Riggs, Jack Wood, Jeb Garcia, Matt Crafton, Ben Meyer, Chris Wright, Wesley Slimp, Mason Maggio, Tyler Tomasi, Tony Breidinger, Tanner Gray, Andres Perez Lazara, Josh Rume, Carter Fartich, Parker Kligerman, and Ben Rhodes. Xfinity, your winner, Connor Zilic. Second, Austin Green. Third, Sammy Smith. Fourth, Kaz Gralla. Fifth, Connor Mozak. Sixth, Jeb Burton. Seventh, William Saulich. Eighth, Justin Allgaier. Ninth, Nick Sanchez. 10th, Christian X. The rest, Sheldon Creed, Jesse Love, Tanner Gray, Eric Almirola, Carson Kvappel, Parker Retzlaff, Daniel Hemrick, Brandon Jones, Sam Meyer, Ryan Sieg, Josh Belicki, Corey Day, Anthony Alfredo, Ryan Ellis, Sage Karam, Leyland Honeyman, Jeremy Clements, Austin Hill, Blaine Perkins, Alex Labe, Brendan Poole, Matthew Mendetto, Kyle Sieg, Harrison Burton, Dean Thompson, Daniel Dye, Josh Williams, and Preston Pardis. And the Cup Series from Charlotte, your winner, Shane Van Gisbergen. Congratulations to him. That's a big win for him. Second, Kyle Larson. Third, Chris Bell. Fourth, Chris Boucher. Fifth, Michael McDowell. Sixth, Ryan Preece. Seventh, Daniel Suarez. Eighth, Chase Elliott. Ninth, AJ Allmendinger. 10th, Tyler Riddick. The rest, William Byron, Ty Gibbs, Ryan Blaney, Chase Briscoe, Bubba Wallace, Josh Berry, Todd Gilliland, Alex Bowman, Ricky Stennis Jr., Joey Logano, Ross Chastain, Cole Custard, Denny Hamlin, Zane Smith, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek, Ty Dillon, Noah Gragson, Carson Hocevar, Eric Jones, Austin Dillon, Josh Belicki, Cody Ware, Kyle Busch, Brad Keselowski, Austin Cindric, Riley Herbst. All right, so Cup Series is in Vegas. That's late for Vegas. I thought Vegas was once a year. Wow. So the 12th, Cup's in Vegas. Xfinity's in Vegas on the 11th, and then trucks are off. And then they have Friday afternoon on the 17th at Talladega. So, interesting weekend coming up for NASCAR. And now Formula One. We'll go over the result of that race, which was the Singapore Grand Prix in Singapore. Your winner, Gage Russell. Second, Max Verstappen. Third, Lando Norris. Fourth, Oscar Piastri. Fifth, Andrea Kimi Antonelli. Sixth, Charles Leclerc. Seventh, Fernando Alonso. Eighth, Lewis Hamilton. Ninth, Oliver Behrman. 10th, Carlos Sainz Jr. The rest, Isaac Hidjar, Yuki Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, Alex Albon, Liam Lawson, Franco Colapinto, Gabriel Bortoleto, Esteban Ocon, Pierre Gasly, and Nico Hulkenberg. So there you have it for Formula One. Okay, now I'll move on to Survivor. First two episodes. So far, maybe I need to watch a little more of the season, but I just think that the cast of last season with Eva and Joe and Kyle and Camilla was so good. I'm not saying this is a letdown, but that cast last season of Survivor 48 was loaded. Absolutely loaded. And now it's just like, oh, and now it's this cast. Now it feels like it's a drop-off. But I think it's nothing against this cast. It's more, it's a testament to how great last season was, and Joe and Eva, and Eva's story, and that group was just so special. And then it's just hard to replicate it. That's my point. It's nothing against this group. I mean, I know this group and this season's going to grow on me, but last season, Survivor 48 was fantastic. And I feel bad that I was on hiatus during that season, because that was my favorite Survivor season ever. Okay, so first episode. So the 18 new players arrive in Fiji, of course. Their typical Open to Survivor. So it starts off with the marooning challenges. 2 tribe members race into the jungle for crates. 2 other tribe members then retrieve the boat full of crates from the ocean. The last 2 players assembled the crate to make a cube, which 1 tribe member would climb to ring a bell hanging above them. The first to ring the bell won a flint, a pot, and a machete for their tribe. And the 2 losing tribes would have to send a tribe member away to complete another challenge to earn their surprise. Hina, which was the yellow tribe, won the reward challenge. Yuli, who's the red tribe, sent Rizzo to complete the challenge, and then Keely, the blue tribe, sent Alex. And then Rizzo won the challenge courtesy of freaking cheating and looking at Alex's puzzle. Rizzo says like how bad he is at puzzles, and then while Alex is digging, Rizzo, I mean, some may say took advantage, but I think he cheated his way to a win. I just think that kid doesn't know how to do puzzles, and he was looking at his to make sure it was done correctly. He took advantage of him struggling to find the chest. And the challenge was that the 2 players retrieved 10 marked coconuts on a small peninsula, each containing multiple puzzle pieces. Once all the coconuts were collected, they used the pieces to create the map, revealing the location of the ship wheel. And each tribe had its own wheel in a different location on the beach. And using the wheel, they must raise the tribe's sail, which released the key to the chest containing the supplies. And the first to unlock the chest won the supplies. Like I said, Rizzo won that, which was undeserved. And then the immunity challenge. Each tribe was split into 3 pairs. Each pair in turn navigated a rope tunnel, crawled through a muddy pit, then raced into the jungle to retrieve a large serpent. When all 3 serpents were retrieved, 3 players worked together to navigate a ball around the winding snake track. The first 2 tribes to finish won immunity. Hina and Uli won the challenge. And then Keely, who went to tribal, the majority alliance, which was Alex, Jake, Jeremiah, and Sophie, targeting Annie and Nicole. They thought that they were the weakest players physically, Nicole in particular. Annie attempted to form an alliance with Sophie, saying that she wanted to target Alex and Jake in the future. Sophie notified the majority alliance of Annie's proposal, then considered voting Annie off over Nicole because of it, but at tribal, they chose to vote off Nicole. Alright, best move of the episode, Nicole getting voted out. She was obviously the weakest player of the tribe. I do think Annie has a little bit of a personality. But I thought Nicole over Annie was the better move for this episode. Worst move, Rizzo cheating in the supplies challenge. I think that's going to come back to haunt him, especially if both him and Alex are in the merge. The best moment was actually a funny moment. When they're introducing the contestants, a contestant, Steven, who's on the Hina tribe, there was a Price is Right reference during the introductions, and that was actually pretty funny of Jeff to reference the Price is Right. I don't think I've seen that on Survivor. My winner pick after this episode was Sophie from Hina. So Sophie S. And then my next guess out would have been Rizzo. And then episode 2 was it opened with the Keeley tribe with Alex and Jake finding, or no, that was not the open of the show, but this is really the order of the show. So at Keeley, Alex and Jake found the Beware advantage, and the majority alliance affirmed to their plan to target Annie at the next tribal that they were at. And at Hina, Matt invited MC into his alliance with Christina and Steven, but MC alerted Sophie of this. At the Yuli tribe, Jowan was on the outs and strained his relationship with Savannah by unknowingly taking her bag and dumping it into contents to fill it with firewood. And then Jake, Jowan, and Matt were chosen for a journey. As the journey, players tossed coconuts into their opponents' bags, causing them to eventually drop from the weight. The last person standing won, who happened to be Jowan, and had a choice between stealing Jake or Matt's next vote, imposing a disadvantage on Hina or Keeley at the next challenge. And then he chose the challenge one, which was the right move. So the reward immunity challenge, as the players on the tribes traversed an obstacle course and dug a ladder out, holding it up one member to retrieve a key. The key unlocked a ramp to the larger puzzle, and the first tribes to complete the puzzle won immunity, plus a large fishing kit for first place and the smaller fishing kit for second. And then after learning about the disadvantage would be for each tribe member to carry 20 pounds of coconuts through the obstacle course to work to 10 keys instead of 1. Jowan chose to penalize Hina. In spite of the penalties, Hina won first, and Yuli placed second after Keeley's massive lead was blown at the puzzle. And at Keeley, Alex found an idol and told everyone, including Annie, who Alex had tried to secretly align with. He considered voting Sophie out over Annie, but at Tribal, everyone stuck to the original plan to eliminate Annie. Typical Survivor, trying to get everybody to think differently. Best move of the episode, I do think Jowan picking the tribe disadvantage over steal a vote was the best move, even though Hina won in spite of it. But Hina, to be fair, would have lost if Kaylee wasn't struggling. So I still think Jowan's choice was the right choice. Worst move, I have two. Annie throwing Jake's name out. That's kind of what got her voted out. She threw Jake's name out again. And then runner-up being Savannah being mad about Jowan using her bag. Best moment was Alex finding the idol instead of Sophie, who I think is pretty selfish. My winner pick, I really like Shannon on the Yuli tribe. I think she's very smart. I think she's flying under the radar right now, and I think she has a real chance to be far in this game. Next out, I'm going to say Matt. Because I just think that it's just a gut choice. It's easier to figure out. It's always hard to figure out who's going to be the next out. But it's a little easier at the merge. All right, so next episode's on Wednesday night. Looking forward to it. For sure. Okay, now we'll move on to the news and notes for today. We have a lot to get to. Antonio Gibson tore his ACL after exiting the game last night. That's brutal for New England from a depth standpoint. And Colts kicker Spencer Schrader out for the season with multiple ligaments torn in his knee. That's according to Pat McAfee. Marion Hampton exited the game against the Commanders with an ankle injury. Xavier Worthy questionable for tonight's game against the Jags. Kyler Murray briefly left the game with a foot injury against the Titans. I wonder if that had to do with them collapsing down the stretch. Bucky Irving likely out 2 more weeks. More of an issue than a sprained foot. Lamar could return against the Rams next week. That, I think, is out of desperation because they're 1-4. Carson Wentz had a shoulder injury. He came back in the game. Brock Bowers did not play due to a knee injury. The Cowboys were down 4 starting offensive linemen, which was crazy, and they still found a way to win. Aaron Boone says Yankees comeback possible, as he says the team rallying would not be the weirdest thing. I agree with him. The case is that Game 1, Kevin Gausman against the Yankees' worst postseason starter, and desperate Blue Jay team had the win. And in Game 2, the case was Max Fried didn't have it. Boone pulled him too early. Will Warren gave it up, and the 7 runs the Yankees scored were meaningless. And Yanks are back home. You're never in trouble in the series until you lose a home game, as they always say. But I also think that if things go bad early, the crowd can get restless and the Fire Boone chants will start. And it's going to be a repeat of that Astros series in 2022. And then Giancarlo Stanton gave the team like a rallying speech at a private meeting. They had a players only or a private meeting, which I like after getting blown out 2 nights in a row in the playoffs. This is a big deal. LeBron James teases his second decision as he says something is coming tomorrow at noon Eastern. Wow. UFC White House date set as Donald Trump confirms DC card would be on June 14th. Wow. Mark Sanchez facing 1 to 6 year sentence after prosecutors add upgraded battery charge. Wow. Connor McDavid got his extension, but not the big extension we were expecting. 2 years, $25 million. That's not good enough for me to say, like, oh, he's going to be an Oiler for life. $12.5 million a year. It's only 2 years, $25 million, so that's next year and the following year. Then he's a free agent again. I don't think that's good enough. I think that is a great deal for the Oilers, contract-wise, but I think that they should have went longer term because it's Connor McDavid, the best player in all sports. And oh, by the way, we're going to do NHL predictions. We're going to record that show tonight. Giannis had COVID as he's still not feeling 100%. John Morant, week to week spraining ankle. A.J. Brown on the missed Hurts pass as he addresses failed deep connection in the second half of the defeat. TNT Sports extends Wayne Gretzky. So the Bruins retiring Zdeno Chara's number 33 on January 15th. That's pretty cool. That's a random weekday. I think that's a Thursday. How about this? UNC posts a Drake May highlight after report Belichick doesn't want Patriots-related content on Tar Heels social medias. Wow. What a fucking mess this is for Bill Belichick in North Carolina. Like, Drake May was their last good quarterback they had, and Bill goes out and says, don't post stuff with my old team. That man has fucking lost it, man. He talked about Texas and Penn State disasters. Dame wants Shader Sanders on the Raiders. That's funny. As they lost 40-6 against the Colts. Speaking of people that are losing it, Geno Smith. The Browns call Gabriel Computer as he gets the new nickname due to his processing speed. Cam Scatterbo says I'll be better as he apologizes to fans on social media after the big fumble against the Saints. And Jackson Dart took the blame for the team's struggles as well. Did the Giants win that game if Scatterbo doesn't fumble? They would have had a shot. I think that was the turning point of the game. Well, you deserve to lose if you turn the ball over five times. And honestly, Dart looked like a rookie quarterback, and Scatterbo looked like a rookie running back. And that was not, but then again, what's coming up? Big game against the Eagles. And if they get embarrassed on Thursday night, that might be the head coach gets fired on Friday kind of game. Losing to Saquon and the Eagles. Like, that'd be so bad if they get blown out by, like, multiple scores. Malik Neighbors expected back next year as he's on track to return for training camp amid knee injury. There was a Mariners fan that went viral after Julio Rodriguez's go-ahead RBI. Jorge Polanco had 2 homers off of Scuba, which was crazy. Andy Page denies relaying signals as he talks about his behavior before Teoscar Hernandez's home run in Game 1. Philly fans boo Ohtani. What else do you expect? Paige Beckers was at Colorado TCU. And Fee cancels the meeting with Kathy Engelbert after recent public comments. The WNBA is so much drama. I don't know why this league has all of a sudden become a drama league. Like, all of a sudden, their drama is like worse than the NFL's drama. It's sick. All right, last but not least, my best bet of the day brought to you by FanDuel. So, today, it's best bet. I'm going to double it down. I'm going to take the Jags against the Chiefs. Plus 3.5. I mean, that's the only really meaningful game. I mean, there's an women's soccer league game. There's 2 MLB playoff games, but I don't love either of those. All right, so I'll be back later tonight with the NHL season predictions show. So there you have it. I'll be back tonight, like I said, with the NHL season prediction show, and then tomorrow for the regular show. Hope you guys have a great day, everyone.